Kurogiri might be a Nomu. This is gonna be a good one. What's up, it's Truth Hero, and welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. So today we'll be discussing Boku no Hero Academia chapter 253 of the manga. Now, this is mostly a transitional chapter, but there's a lot of funny moments with Class 1A here, so we'll touch upon those and everyone coming back from winter break and reporting on their internships. But we'll also be discussing the theory at the end of this chapter that Kurogiri could in fact be Oboro Shirakumo, or that Kurogiri could be the first sentient Nomu. Oh yeah. Also, I'm still looking for digital artists to do a Shinso piece like this, or if you can do anime girls in an aesthetic or retro style, slide into my DMs, and if I like your digital style, then I'll be in contact and tell you exactly what I want on a commission. Without further ado, let's get on with the video. The chapter begins with everyone returning to school from winter break, and there are only 3 months of the freshman year left. I can't believe Class 1A will soon be second years. Ida wishes everyone a happy New Year's and then tells them to suit up and get to ground alpha pronto, and Aizawa is ever serious. Come on guys, stop talking, let's get to it, alright? Chop chop, enough chat chit. Ida said that the students would be doing practical reports on what they did during their internships, and I wonder if this is a way for us to see exactly what students did under their pro heroes. I especially want to see what Uraraka did as well as Tokoyami, and I wouldn't mind seeing what Ida learned as well because he seems pretty proud of what he learned under Manuel. Just as Tenya Ida is learning how to be flexible, Aizawa gets called to the faculty office and thus begins the emergency situation at the end of this chapter. However, before we discuss that, and we will, let's see what the girls are up to. The girls are all complimenting Uraraka on her hero costume, and I must say, it looks pretty great. I love this new design. We also learn it's heavy like armor and she actually uses her zero gravity to make her wristbands lighter. Pretty cool application of her quirk. But that's not the only thing that's hidden about this costume. As Mina picks up a piece of it, the All Might doll that Uraraka got from Deku during the Christmas game drops out. Ooh, busted. I love this scene with Mina because she's always the one that's instigating a relationship or a romantic connection between Deku and Uraraka's just like, nope, no it isn't, it's not like that, shut up Mina, there's nothing to see here, right guys? Smooth, Uraraka, real smooth. Then we have this dreamy Uraraka thinking about Deku, and by the way Horikoshi, great transition to Deku. I think it's great that we get a little hint of romance here and we have this lighthearted moment, because by the end of this chapter, I feel like the future arc, or whatever arc we're going into, is going to get pretty dark, so we need these moments of lightheartedness and humor. Speaking of humor, Horikoshi's really good at making these subtle jokes. We have this scene where Kirishima is asking Deku, wow, you managed to control that black thing? That was quick. And look who's all perked up and all interested in the background. It's Tokoyami. I swear to God, this kid will do anything for a sliver of darkness. You know who doesn't like this though? Bakugo, and he hits him with the mask thing. Oh my goodness, his gray matter's leaking out, he's gonna die. This is great by Horikoshi, and seriously guys, you should treasure these moments of humor because the way this chapter ended, I feel like this arc is gonna be darker than any Black Whip or Dark Shadow. So, embrace the humor and lightheartedness for now. Also, I hope that Deku can just control Black Whip when he presents his practical report to the rest of the students in Class 1A. But this also begs the question, will Deku have to reveal things about his quirk Black Whip? I know Bakugo and Shoto have already seen it firsthand, so maybe it's time, but I'm wondering how much Deku will actually have to go into his quirk one for all for the rest of the class. Let me know down below, will Deku actually have to reveal some secrets here? I am making cotton candy. All Might with the puns. I think All Might must be pretty bored in retirement, but hey, I'd still eat his cotton candy. So we have this scene where he informs the students that Aizawa actually had to leave due to this emergency situation, and I think this is a good opportunity. Maybe All Might can be the teacher to see their practical reports on their internships, and maybe every student, not just Deku and Bakugo, can learn from the greatest hero. Alright, now on to the dark stuff. Let's first explain the whole situation between Shirakumo and Kurogiri and Present Mic and Aizawa, then explain every theory and concern this raises. Aizawa and Present Mic drive to Tartarus, and Aizawa is clearly pissed off, but not just because he's missing class. He's upset about the implications of why Tsukauchi, the police guy, called them there in the first place. Present Mic tells him to calm down and says, that thing we fought at the USJ, that kind of behavior, not in the least. Initially, I thought Present Mic was just telling Aizawa to calm down and saying, listen, Kurogiri, that guy we fought at the USJ, his behavior is nothing like Oboro Shirakumo's, and I do think it's this. I even said this in my theory video yesterday. But I can't really understand Aizawa's comment here. Aizawa says, there's a limit to how bad your taste can be, and I don't understand why he says this. It's not like Present Mic was joking about the situation, he was being completely serious. Perhaps Aizawa is just frustrated at everyone and taking it out on Mike, but let me know down below in the comments, what does Aizawa mean by saying this? Because I really don't know. Gran Torino and Tsukauchi explain how the Nomu are human bodies modified to withstand having multiple quirks, and that they become a complete mess, puppets without souls, mindless beings made to do the bidding of their creators. I love how Tsukauchi sets this up, and how he even tells Aizawa, you need to prepare your heart for this. He explains that Kurogiri is different, that multiple factors have combined together to form an entirely new quirk, but at the base, at the root of all those factors, is an incredible resemblance to the man once known as Oboro Shirakumo. Theory number 1. The entity known as Kurogiri is actually Oboro Shirakumo. This may just be a translation thing, but Tsukauchi says the root of all those factors resembles Shirakumo, not necessarily the quirk. This could mean that Shirakumo's body was taken and used as the base for Kurogiri. They fused a warp quirk and some black-purple aesthetic, and a consciousness to Shirakumo's brain to form the villain Kurogiri. If it is in fact Shirakumo, but in a revived and engineered form, Kurogiri could perhaps retain the memories of when he was a young hero in training named Loud Cloud, which makes my theory on why Aizawa and Present Mic are here in the first place all the more interesting, and we'll get to that in a bit. Also, this chapter confirms that multiple quirks can actually be fused together to form an entirely new quirk and even a stronger one. And I'm not just talking about Nomu having multiple quirks or the One for All quirk having the vestiges inside it. I mean a quirk like Cloud fused with a warp quirk and a dark mist one to form Kurogiri's quirk. Synthetic fusion is possible. Theory number 2. Kurogiri is a villain that is a successful experiment, in the sense that he retained all cognitive function when gaining multiple quirks, similar to how Gigantomachia and the villain 9 from the new movie have multiple abilities but are not mindless puppets. All for One, with the help of his trusty sidekick Dr. Ujiko, took a man named Kurogiri and gave him a warp quirk and some black aesthetic. They also infused Shirakumo's cloud quirk into him, since they may have the technology to harness DNA and quirks from dead bodies. Believe me, All for One and Dr. Ujiko certainly have the power and influence to steal pro-hero and student hero bodies from the morgue. I mean, they might even own the morgue. The only hole in this theory is that it's the original quirk or body that's similar to Shirakumo. So, if Kurogiri doesn't have Shirakumo's body, then the only option is that Kurogiri was quirkless, and then they gave him the quirk Cloud from Shirakumo and then built on top of it. I can't see the villains really taking some quirkless guy off the streets and doing this. So that's why I like theory number 1, that Kurogiri is an engineered version of Shirakumo as the base. Or my next theory, that Kurogiri is a Nomu. Theory number 3, Kurogiri is the first fully sentient Nomu. Unlike the first theory where Kurogiri is revived as a villain, it's possible that Shirakumo's dead body was used as the base for a Nomu, hence the root quirk being similar to his cloud quirk, and then Dr. Ujiko fused a warp quirk and black-purple foggy aesthetic, and gave the Nomu enhanced cognitive abilities to create the first sentient Nomu, Kurogiri. The Kurogiri is a more sentient Nomu theory has actually been suggested before, but now we have some real hard physical evidence for it. Our police friend Tsukauchi notes that when they talk to Kurogiri, he'll tell them about anything, even stupid irrelevant stuff, but whenever the League of Villains comes up, he goes completely silent, almost like the power is being cut remotely. And as we know, Nomu are controlled remotely. Dabi had one during the Forest Training Camp arc that he controlled personally. Perhaps Kurogiri as a Nomu is engineered to go completely silent whenever the League of Villains is brought up so that he reveals no information about their organization, but he still retains normal brain function so he can hold a conversation about food, clothing, or whatever. So it's not that Kurogiri is blindly loyal to the League, or that he would do anything for Shigaraki, it's just that when the League of Villains comes up in a question, his brain physically shuts off and he can't tell you any information. Dr. Ujiko's Haiyan Nomu are also making great strides in consciousness. They talk as seen when Haiyan taunted Endeavor when he fought them. I mean, they're still pretty dumb, but they're getting there. Also, Kurogiri's eyes look exactly like a Haiyan Nomu's. So why bring Aizawa and Mike to Tartarus? Well, as I mentioned before, Kurogiri will talk about irrelevant stuff, so perhaps through conversation, Kurogiri will actually talk about his life before he became engineered as this villain, and Aizawa and Mike can find a shred of Shirakumo's personality within this mysterious black fog. If this is the case, and Aizawa and Present Mic note that Kurogiri's mannerisms and personalities are indeed that of Oboro Shirakumo's, 1. This is the most tragic thing I've heard since Dr. Ujiko turned his grandson into a Nomu. And 2, bro, is there anything Dr. Ujiko can't create? Are you scared? Cause I'm terrified at this point. Well, what do you guys think? Is Kurogiri actually Shirakumo? Is he a sentient Nomu? And will Present Mic and Aizawa Sensei find their lost friends somewhere in this black mist? Comment down below. And if you guys like My Hero Academia content and these theory videos and chapter reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by subscribing. And until next time, plus ultra.